impoundment. That means that under Erie Railroad versus Tompkins, the fictitious entity under due process of law does not apply to my sui juris living being. You know, I don't understand how I can tell you that I'm an American national and you can hold me in a county jail under bond, especially today when I was arrested on a larceny under $200. Somebody changed case prefixes and the warrant got dropped to a misdemeanor. And now you're still going to illegally hold me in a county jail under bond?
All right, folks. Buckle up for this one, because we've got a repeat offender who just doesn't learn. Not even a week after his last hearing, yes, you heard that right, not 7 days, this same guy is back in court. February 19th, caught stealing alcohol from a gas station. Unreal. And of course, the moment he starts talking, we're right back into sovereign citizen territory. He opens with, "I'm an American non-citizen national," which, if you've watched this channel for a while, you know means we're about to take a wild ride through a maze of made-up legal theories. He claims that once he copyrighted his name in the newspaper, the court lost all...
All right, people of the state of Michigan versus Drew James Peltola, files 247831 SM and file 247819 SM. Mr. Peltola appears from the Dickinson County Jail. Counsel
appellation known as Drew James Peltola appears before you as an entity.
Hold on a minute. Just let me make the appearances, then I'm going to give you the floor, okay? In regard to the matter, Nancy Schaub is here as both his counsel on the underlying file on 247819 SM, as well as the first bond violation. She's here as CAFA counsel on bond violation number 2 in this file, as well as a new file of 7831 SM. Kristen Cass is here on behalf of the prosecutor's office. Drew Peltola, I'm going to give you an opportunity now to say whatever you want to say. Go ahead.
Ma'am, I was trying to get a ride to court this morning. This bond violation.
Wait, sir. I don't want you to talk about the underlying charges. I wanted you to say whatever you wanted to say. I thought you started to say some sovereign citizen information that you wanted to make a record of.
I am an American non-citizen national that's defined in the United States Code. And I do believe that underneath copyright, once my name is copyrighted through the Daily News, once I put that copyright on your paperwork, that's something called copyright impoundment. That means that under Erie Railroad versus Tompkins, the fictitious entity under due process of law does not
all authority over him, something he calls copyright impoundment. According to him, this somehow means that under Erie Railroad versus Tompkins, the court can't apply the law to his living being. Now, let's pause right there, because this is where it gets hilariously painful. He's combining copyright law, federal jurisdiction, and conspiracy theories into one big pot of nonsense. It's like he took every legal term he's ever overheard on YouTube and decided to stir them into one giant get-out-of-jail-free smoothie. Spoiler alert, it doesn't work. And the best part? He's saying all of this while sitting in county jail, under bond, for stealing liquor from a gas station. You can't make this stuff up. So here's the situation. This guy was just released on bond after being arrested for public drunkenness earlier in the month. The judge gave him a chance.
For the record concerning this issue then, Mr. Peltola.
No, there's not, Your Honor. I would just like to be released again on a PR bond. You have expedition charges. I'm asking the courts to please release me on a PR bond again, and I'll continue to abide by court rules and stay off the drugs and try to maintain my court dates.
All right. In regard to the matter then, Mr. Peltola, I have an advice of rights and plea, and for the record, I will acknowledge your comments, that your objections in respect to the court's jurisdiction and whatnot are noted for the record. All right, concerning the matter then, I have some concerns regarding Mr. Peltola. He seems to be on a spiral. This started with a disorderly drunk on February 4th in a public place. I saw him on February 5th. I set his bond terms. I saw him back on February 12th, with a .236 on a preliminary breath test. I set bond at that time on the bond violation and the underlying. And the reason I told him then that I was going to give him the break is that normally I see people in between, they get arraigned, I give them the warning, and then they come back on a bond violation. He had not had the warning in between because he violated his bond so quickly that I saw him all at once. So I told Mr. Peltola at that time that I would set the bond at a 1,000 PR, but understand that if he came back again, he would leave me no opportunity or new choice. So here we are, not even a week later, on February 19th, stealing alcohol from the Norway Quick Stop, involving another bond violation, as well as a new underlying charge that I'm free to assume is true for purposes of setting bond. So for purposes of setting bond today, then, for the following reasons, and in regard to his Wisconsin matters, very serious matters, he's got 2 felonies pending in Brown County from 2023. The first one alleges possession of narcotic drugs, a felony, possession of a controlled substance on or near certain places with a modifier, carrying a concealed knife, possession of drug paraphernalia. That case has been pending through for quite some time. And he has a court date for a status conference scheduled for February 26th at 11 a.m. Then, so the date of this offense was filing date of 2/10 of 2023. He's got a filing date of March 15th of 2023 in Brown County, another felony alleging bail jumping as well as possession of drug paraphernalia. Likewise, that has a court date at the same date and the same time as the other pending felony.
I think that is part of the other pending felony. They charge it as a separate offense, but
It's a separate case. Total separate case, total separate charges, total separate bond, total separate court dates. This is file 23 CF 448. The first one is 23 CF 240. So in respect to the matter, my point being, for purposes of setting bond, Mr. Peltola has some substance abuse issues going on. He's got numerous cases pending in Wisconsin as well as now here. In regard to the matter, Mr. Peltola, I'm going to direct you to talk to your lawyer. I'm setting bond concerning the new theft case. Then the conditions are going to be as follows. Mr. Peltola may not enter into the Norway Quick Stop as a condition of his release. He is not to purchase, possess, or consume alcohol or non-prescribed controlled substances. Mr. Peltola is subject to random PBTs and drug screens. Mr. Peltola may not go in any businesses that sell alcohol for use inside, such as bars and taverns. Recreational and medicinal marijuana use and possession are prohibited until or unless further order of the court. Conditioned on him signing that waiver of extradition, which I do have in the file, I will allow him to go back and forth to Wisconsin for purposes of court hearings and or meeting with his attorney.
Told him to stay sober, stay out of trouble, and show up for court. But what does he do? He goes out and steals booze. And not only that, he walks back into court acting like the system doesn't even apply to him. Now you've got to see the judge's face during this. Total exhaustion. You can tell this isn't the first time she's dealt with his antics. She even tries to let him talk, giving him the floor. And what does he do with it? Start spouting the same sovereign citizen playbook again? And here's where it gets truly ironic. He's begging for another bond release, promising to follow court rules and stay clean. But the judge, clearly fed up, reminds him that she already warned him last time. One more violation, and she'd have no choice left. Guess what? He blew that chance in record time.
If
in residency, he lives in Wisconsin.
in residency. No, he lives in Vulcan. Or he says Vulcan. Is that just your
Bracket.
mailing address?
Yes, we can do it like that if you choose to.
Well, where is your residency?
My
Well,
residency and my domicile is 1968 River Street. We can switch it with a mailing address to W43, the apartment 13 in Vulcan, Michigan. The address should be in there. It should be bracketed.
Right, and that's apartment 13. You didn't put that on there though. Apartment 13?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's your mailing address though?
Yes, but the problem is that building's not registered anywhere. I had to go to the post office and I had something mailed and they told me that my mail was being returned and because there's no actual mailboxes in the building.
All right, so I got 2 issues I need to deal with here. One, do you live in Wisconsin? Do you have to go to Wisconsin for purposes of residency or just your court stuff?
My mailing address, my residency, and my domicile are all registered at my mother's house. There was some unexplained events that I will not say out loud.
I don't know where your
information.
mother's house is, Mr. Peltola.
Nine
Ma'am.
address.
River Street, Niagara, Wisconsin, 54151. My mailing address will be W45. That's the Norway, the Vulcan address. I can't remember that off the top of my head.
All right. So in regard to bond, then condition on him signing a waiver of extradition, I'll allow him to go back and forth between Michigan and Wisconsin for residency, court appearances, meetings with his attorney. In regard to the matter, if you relocate for any reason, you must provide the court with an updated address and phone number within 7 days of any change. Concerning the amount of the bond on the new retail fraud, I'm going to set that. I'm going to set that at 1,000 cash surety, 10%. In regard to the newest bond violation, then I'm finding for both of them, actually, I'm going to make a record based on the factors the court is required to consider under MCR 6.106, considering the frequency, the charges, the dates that I have mentioned, as well as the ongoing Wisconsin matter. I am finding that to release him on a personal recognizance bond would not adequately ensure public safety. In regard to the bond violation, concerning the matter, then I am going to set the bond violation at 2,500 cash surety, 10%. So, Mr. Peltola, those bonds are set. If you get out, you make sure to get in touch with your lawyer. If you're in
Can I say
custody,
something?
she'll be in touch with you. You may.
Can I say- Yes. You know, I don't understand how I can tell you that I'm an American national and you can hold me in a county jail under bond, especially today when I was arrested on a larceny under $200. Somebody changed case prefixes and the warrant got dropped to a misdemeanor. And now you're still going to illegally hold me in a county.
The judge goes down the list. Public drunkenness, a 0.236 on a breath test, previous felonies in Wisconsin, drug charges, concealed weapons, bail jumping, the whole buffet of bad decisions. This guy's rap sheet reads like a highlight reel of what not to do on probation. By the end, the judge lays down new bond conditions. No alcohol, no drugs, no quick stops, no bars, random testing, and he can't even go near places that sell alcohol. Honestly, she's being way more patient than most would. But you can feel it. She's trying to give him just one more shot at doing something right. And
All right, Mr. Peltola, I'm not going to argue with you. Your sovereign citizen has been noted for the record. In regard to the matter, you are under the order of the court. You're under the jurisdiction of the court. I decline to follow what your...
Can I at least tell you, admit I was arrested on a larceny charge that was dropped through a case prefix, what UN, all incoming evidence. Can I at least have you admit that in the court of law that you guys illegally kidnapped me again with a larceny through John Rod D. Clark, Norway Police Department? Can I just have you admit that once?
No, Mr. Peltola, I don't even know what you're talking about. I will not admit that. Thank you to the
It's all
jail. We are
recorded
off
on-
the record
on the
on this
jail.
matter.
yet, watching this, you can't help but think, why? This guy isn't learning. He's spinning the same sovereign fairy tales, violating bonds, stealing, and blaming everyone but himself. Maybe it's time the system stops giving him the benefit of the doubt. Because I don't know about you, but I'm getting tired of watching these American nationals test the patience of judges who are just trying to keep order in a courtroom. Cliffhanger. And just when you think this guy can't possibly make things worse, wait till you hear what he says next. It's so ridiculous, the entire courtroom practically deflates. So right after the judge patiently lays out every single condition, no alcohol, no drugs, no bars, no more nonsense, what does our sovereign citizen do? He doubles down. He looks the judge dead in the eye and says, "I don't understand how you can hold me in a county jail when I'm an American national." Yep, he really said that. He's convinced that his self-declared title magically shields him from being arrested for, stealing, and he doesn't stop there. He starts rambling about case prefixes being changed and how his warrant was illegally dropped to a misdemeanor. Then he accuses the court of kidnapping him. You heard that right? Kidnapping. Meanwhile, the judge is just sitting there holding it together like a true professional. You can almost feel her patience thinning through the screen. She calmly tells him, "Mr. Pela, your sovereign citizen status is noted for the record. You're under the jurisdiction of this court. Translation: I've heard this nonsense before, and it's not working today. But of course, he keeps going. He starts demanding the judge admit that the court illegally kidnapped him through the police department. He's serious about it. Like if she says the words, somehow that'll undo everything and he'll walk free. At this point, the judge just shuts it down. I don't even know what you're talking about, she says. We're off the record. And that's it. Game over. Now here's the part that really blows my mind. Even after all of this, the judge still sets a bond. A $1,000 cash bond for the new theft charge and $2,500 for the violation. I mean, I get the legal reasoning, but come on. This guy violated bond less than a week after being released. At what point do you just say, enough? This isn't a one-time mistake. This is a pattern. And when someone keeps getting chance after chance, it sends the wrong message. That accountability doesn't really matter. You can't claim to be a living soul outside the jurisdiction while stealing alcohol and breaking bond conditions. It's hypocrisy on full display. He's not fighting for freedom. He's fighting to avoid consequences. And that's what makes cases like this so frustrating to watch. So I'll say it. The judge went easy on him. Too easy. If this guy posts bond again, I'll bet money we'll see him right back in court in no time. He's not done. Not by a long shot. But here's the real question for you guys watching. Do you think this kind of leniency helps? Or does it just embolden people like him to keep pushing boundaries until someone gets hurt? Let me know in the comments what you think. Should the judge have locked him up longer? Because at this point, it's not just about protecting him from himself, it's about protecting everyone else from the chaos that follows him. If you enjoyed this wild courtroom moment, make sure to like, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts below. I read every one of your takes. Thanks for watching, everyone. Until next time, stay safe, and maybe don't try to copyright your name to avoid a bond violation.